The new zombie survivor thriller We Bury the Dead follows Ava Newman on her terrifying yet moving journey as she sets out to find her missing husband. With me now are the stars of the film, Daisy Ridley and Brenton Thwaites. How are you doing this morning?
Great. How are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. Now, to start off, what drew you to this project?
It was the script. I read the script. I loved it. Um, quickly spoke with Zach, and then very quickly was on. It was one of those strange ones that ended up happening really fast. And then before I knew it, was on set in beautiful Western Australia. So it was all quite, yeah, it all happened. It was a real great timing. But the script I just loved.
Daisy Ridley, um, the director who I loved just from a Zoom. I hadn't seen his films or hadn't met him before, but he just seemed like this guy who he obviously had written the script, so he knew. It's always great to have a writer director who you know can carry the film, and you're on set with the writer. But also, this story was inspired by the loss of his mother, who died of breast cancer, and there was this underlying melancholy through the script that I couldn't put my finger on. When he said that, I just thought, what a great way to you know take inspiration from something so sad and bring it to a different, whole new world, the genre world, and create this beautiful story about this woman who's looking for her husband, doesn't know he's alive, in the midst of zombies and post-apocalyptic world. And yeah, I just thought it was a good opportunity to do something in Australia with a bigger budget, obviously with Daisy, who was a star, and yeah, it was different. It felt fresh. Felt fresh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Now, you take on the role of Clay. He's kind of this bad boy-esque character. So, what was your process for stepping into the role of Clay, but also what sets him apart from these other roles you've had?
Well, I had a tattoo, which I thought was quite bad boy. Yeah. I'd come home, like I'd leave it on and come home to the missus, and my family came with me over to WA, and I'd show her and be like, what's up? Trying to be tough, but yeah, yeah. You know what? I didn't see I think the tough guy thing, in real life and in the story is the tattoo and the cigarettes and the drinking and stuff is a cover for something, you know. And so it's really just finding out what is this veneer here to hide. And for Clay, I think he's reveals at the end of the film that he's there as a volunteer, and he's kind of running from his family, and he's running from a couple of bad decisions that he made, and a wife that doesn't want him anymore. So I think there's just these universal, I mean, kind of a simple universal problem for Clay,
Mhm.
that a lot of men would be going through, and so easy to emotionally invest in that character and understand his um why he is the way he is. But I just love the simplicity of that.
Yeah.
It's not more or less, it's just that's the situation he's in. um
Absolutely.
yeah.
Now, you play Ava Newman, our lead character in this film. So, what was your process of stepping into the Ava's shoes, and what sets her apart from other roles you've taken on in the past?
Um, what's interesting about this is I was playing someone who is she does not know what she's meeting every day, but she is propelled by the hope of getting some closure. Um, and I mean, she meets a lot of things along the way, but that hope is really the driving force for her for such a long time. And then when it comes to it, when she's about to get the answer, I think the inevitability that comes with that was so painful to play, but also sort of calming. I mean, I know what it is to be someone that really wants an answer. I find the not knowing very difficult. So playing someone who, of course, is doing something I can't ever actually imagine doing, but I understand that need to know, and to try honestly and absolve herself of the sins and get some finality to her journey.
Now, while this is a zombie movie, it does have some good gripping survival moments, but what really stands out are our characters' journeys with grief and loss. So, how do you feel that focal point kind of separates this from other zombie flicks out there?
I feel like the zombies are really representative of Ava's journey. She is in this in-between state of not knowing what has happened to her husband. And the zombies she's meeting along the way are so beautifully embodied by the people playing them, and they're so different. And they all have unfinished business, as we learn. And they are in this state of neither here nor there, trying to get an answer. So they really feel representative of her. And then interestingly, it's the real guy that she meets, Riley, who for me was the most terrifying moment in the film, really. Someone who is so laden with grief and desperation to find a way back for his wife. That's weirdly understandable, which sort of makes it even scarier. But I feel all of that is such a beautiful exploration of how we all say goodbye in our own ways.
You know, it's great because it starts from a point of grief and loss. You know, we don't see it throughout the film. It's, you know, image one, the first minute, you really feel that. Maybe you don't understand it, but you feel the weight of it, especially with Daisy's character. And so I really just enjoyed there's something great about knowing where you are, right, you know, on the first image of a film. And I think with this one, you know, there are elements that, you know, push the story forward and you know, get us into the second act and the third act. But I think, you know, for the characters, emotionally, you feel that melancholy, you feel that longing, and that sadness right from the very first moment, you know. And I kind of like that. I like that, you know, we're confused about where we are, but we know exactly emotionally where we are. And so, yeah, it was kind of I felt that was new as well, you know, for genre films. You know, often it's a very different way of telling that story. I just thought it was patient, it was calm, it was smart. And yeah, obviously people liked it, so it's good.
Thank you so much for talking with me today. We Bury the Dead hits theaters January 2nd.